Hello everyone. For this tutorial video, I'd like to explain how you can find three-dimensional lines using vectors. If we have a point in 3 dimensions on a line, and we have a vector with components A, B, and C parallel to this line, it follows, because the vectors are parallel and therefore have the same slope, that the vector at the endpoint is the vector at the beginning point plus the length of the vector between these 2 points. It follows, since we have a line parallel to the line we are adding, the line we are adding can be an integer number of the parallel line. So we plug this in, and we see the vector at the endpoint of a line equals the vector at the beginning point plus integer number times length of parallel vector. And we can finally simplify this by indicating all the individual components of these vectors. This is called the vector form of the equation of a line because we used vectors at different points to figure this out. But there are alternative notations, because we can see when vectors add, their individual components must also add. So if we represent the individual components as sums, like this, then it will be called the parametric form of the equation of the line, because we are specifying x, y, and z as having the parameters of t. The final type of notation is written like this. Comes from subtracting the beginning point from the final point of each component, and seeing that when we divide by the components of the vector we are adding, we get t equal to these things at the same time. So in conclusion, they must also be equal relative to each other. And this is called the symmetric form of the equation of lines, as a reference to the equality or symmetry between all 3 dimensions. Now that we have figured out how to write equations of lines in 3D, we can figure out how to write equations of planes in 3D next. As a reason why we use vectors rather than normal functions is because normal functions that give us lines in 2D would give us infinite planes in 3D, as we saw in the last video. Don't forget to subscribe if you found this video informative, and make sure to see other tutorial videos, and follow me on either Facebook or Twitter for more content.